Bear Pin. I am Adrian Bear, and I am the storyteller for our D&D campaign here, Thala Unbound. And aside from some very funny technical difficulties, me not remembering how Streamlabs works earlier, we are live here, and we're going to go around and introduce our wonderful players. We are short our amazing Goliza today. She's taking her well-deserved break, and we are very happy for her. So let's go around the circle, and we can start today with Ree. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and your character?
Thanks. Hello, everyone. I'm at Big Dude Ree on all of the socials. Tonight, I am playing the enigmatic Maris Kelneros, who is actively going to destroy as much of Lady Solome's house as possible before Goliath gets back.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Next up on my screen is Anne. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about yourself and who you're playing?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ann Pierce _Ann Pierce _ on all the socials. Today I'm playing Tuxel. She is a swamp druid, and kind of looking forward to seeing all the drama.
Indeed, some good old-fashioned family drama should be fun. Next up, of course, is the wonderful Guru. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about yourself and who you're playing?
How's it going, guys? My name is Golden Guru. Across most of my socials. On that, I be the Golden Gentleman, one of the two. Mainly Guru. Everyone knows me as Guru. But I'm playing the Water Genasi, lovable, kind-hearted, always fun, laughter, and kind of, goes with the flow guy, do barley, and he's just having a blast with his friends, as they always do.
Indeed, yes, he is. It's good to have you back this week. And next up, we have the wonderful Di. You can tell us all about yourself and who you're playing.
Hi, I'm Di. I'm playing Xaxi Cleanfoot. They are a monk, and they are kind of socially awkward, and they are just very busy and things to get done right now, and they want to know everything right now. You can find me at Dichromaniac on Twitter, which is where I spend most of my time on social media, and yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Brilliant. And our next player is the wonderful Dom. Why don't you go ahead and tell us all about yourself and who you're playing?
Hello, I'm Dom. I do art now and then. Mostly I just play video games. I am playing Jacques, a satyr, barbarian, druid, mushroom zombie, as one tends to be. Yeah, excited to get back into it.
Fantastic. And as for myself, as I said earlier, I am Adrian, and I'm the storyteller here for Thala Unbound, as well as Blood in the Bayou, which will be coming back in the summer, probably June. So we're going to have book 3 of that. Other than that, you can catch me right now on the Cookout TTRPG channel playing... oh gosh, who am I playing? Jethrin Cloudpaw, who is the Leonin Paladin. He is lovely. So, without further ado, we are going to jump in to our intro video. We'll be right back. and welcome back. All right. The last time we saw the Unifiers, they had just completed going into the archives underneath the Guild of Keepers and discovered a few interesting things which led them to more questions. Xaxi and Tuxel paid a visit to two guild keepers, one of which is the one of the guild keepers of the Guild of Growers, Lord Colel, in order to try and find some more information about a mysterious holy symbol that they had discovered on one of the invaders that had managed to enter into the sealed off vault. Unfortunately, Lord Kalal did not have any idea who or what this image might be relating to. And so they made their way over to the headquarters, the monastery of the Guild of Knowers, and spoke to Tharizdun. And after a warning that things might get a little bit hairy, Tharizdun did manage to give them some information, cryptic as it was. Whatever it was that Tuxel and Xaxi managed to see in these visions was enough to deal a hefty amount of damage to Tuxel. And afterwards, they all began making their way into the Undercity, as Lady Salome had wanted to check on her family after the events that took place out in the city. All of you, including Chuck and Do, even though you were not here last week, made your way to the Undercity of Thala, which for some might be a newish sort of venture or a newish location within the city, but to others they have been there a number of times, making their way to the house of House Bowstone, where you could see one of the ancestor trees, which is growing here in the Undercity, which House Bowstone is a steward of this particular ancestor tree. Lady Salome had spoken to her father and relayed some information that it seems as if one of these infiltrators into the vault had been a member of one of the one of the major noble houses of the Drow in the Undercity of House Meztle, which would be Chiron Meztle. Her father reacted to this in a very interesting way, as it seemed that they might have visitors from House Meztle at this very point in time. Upon adjourning to the back garden, where a lunch was busy being prepared, and going off to retrieve Lady Salome's mother, the Unifiers had just seen a familiar figure seated at the table, busy in discussion with one of the house servants. It was none other than Philandria Meztle, the granddaughter of the Grandmatron Il'yiya. And that is where we paused our story last time, and we pick up there now. You are all in the garden and busy making your way to this table, and you see that Philandria is in discussion with this house server. And she says, "Oh, just anything will be fine, I'm sure. Grandmother isn't too particular. She's busy with..." Oh, it's all of you. How delightful. I didn't expect to see you again. Some new faces, I see. I'm trying to remember your names as she's looking to, I believe it was Dew and Chuck that had met her before on the cable car.
What?
Yep, it was us.
All right.
You were drunk. You were drunk, and I was oh god, I was all fancied up.
Mm.
All right. your name was Dew. Yes?
Do Polly, my lady.
Absolutely delightful to see you again. And you, as strapping as ever. She looks to you, Shock. Who's everybody else? I don't believe I've had the pleasure. She looks around to Xaxi and Tuxel and Mars. And Lady Salome is also there as well.
I am Xaxi of the Guild of Knowers, and it is a pleasure and honor to be in your home.
Oh, this isn't my home. No, no, no. And Salome shakes her head and she says, no, Philandria, it's not your home. Definitely not your home.
Oh, well,
I'm Mars. Nice to meet you all.
Charmed, I'm sure.
Tuxel, you mute. Okay.
I know.
Oh.
My name is Tuxel. I'm from the Guild of Growers.
How wonderful. And those wings, I haven't seen anything like them. Delightful.
Oh, flutter, flutter.
Now, Salome, there's no reason to be so off. I know we haven't been the best of friends in our time growing up, but still it is lovely to see you. And Salome is, yes, it's good to see you too. Hey, I think maybe we get some drinks. Yes, let's all have some drinks as we wait for my father and mother to arrive.
What does this person look like?
She is significantly taller than Lady Salome, as Lady Salome is quite short as far as a drow female go. In Mirandan, it is usually you would find that the female drow are often a bit taller than the male drow. So she has the classic figure of what you would imagine a spoiled, pampered, pretty noblewoman would look like, with long silver hair, and she has a couple of charms and stuff hanging from it, but it is braided to the back, and she is wearing a purple and a sort of like, it fades from sort of like a lighter purple to more of a deep sort of like indigo sort of flowing dress. And it is stitched with silver thread in sort of a spider web sort of design. And she's very, very pretty, and she has very dark green eyes.
Dude's gonna step back to Shock and is like, remember, Shock, we only drink what we know what it is. Whatever was on that carriage right over here, put us out, man.
Wait, if the drinks already came out or no? We're still just...
Once Salome had looked exasperatedly at the server that they have, and one of the servers in the household here, they had rushed off, and they are procuring some drinks, which are being brought to the table shortly.
I mean, I think I'm gonna have a drink. I like to drink first, think later.
Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on you, old friend.
Yeah.
I'll make sure you don't break. I'll make sure you don't break something too expensive we can't pay for.
No, I don't move around too much anymore.
So Philandria takes a seat near to the head of one of these, of this table, which is quite interesting. And she sort of crosses her legs and says, well, come sit. We're going to have drinks in a moment. I think grandmother and your mother are busy chatting up a storm at the moment. Dreadful business this past few days, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a time. I want to assure you that we are looking to figure out what the source of these issues are. I know it's been a lot.
Oh, I'm sure it'll all be sorted out quickly enough. It's one of those things every now and then somebody decides that the people who are in charge shouldn't be in charge and they want to start a riot or some such. It's rather quite pedestrian, if you ask me.
Were you at the ceremony?
Of course, yes. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
I'm glad you and your family got out safely, being nobles and all, because it seems like they're specifically targeting, people in power.
Yes, it was unfortunate. I'm sure we lost a few guards or people that we have in our employ to keep us safe, but their families will be remembered, I'm sure. And as she is talking, you can all see that the servant has sort of come back and has poured everyone some glasses of a wine that they make down here in the Undercity, which is sort of cultivated from specific mushrooms and specific mosses that they find down here. It is a very deep red, but it is has more of a cloudy color to it, and the taste is very very similar to mulled wine, but there's a bit of a texture to it. Not like a horrible texture, but it's like you can, yeah, you can feel there's a texture to this liquid.
Is there a rock or a log or something nearby that I can sit on as opposed to a chair?
Are you asking me or them?
You.
Okay.
DM.
All right.
When I look around.
You in this garden, you could probably co-opt one of the various different fungi that grow here, but you would have to remove it from the ground.
Oh, wouldn't do that.
But if you have Druidcraft, yes, I imagine.
Sure.
Do you? These are
Uh,
your
I'll-
cantrips.
It's not worth it. I'll take a big swig of the wine, and it reminds me of the swamp.
I pull out a chair for Tuxel. There you go, Tuxel.
Oh, thank you.
You know what they say, when in Rome, do Romans do.
What an
Are we
odd
in
saying. I
Rome?
haven't heard of this Rome before.
Is the Undercity also known as Rome?
Ancient civilization that sadly fell to ruin.
Hold on.
I read about it in my one of my many studies.
I suppose, yes. What was I saying before as she's taking a drink? Oh, yes, we lost some guards people, and I'm sure their families will be well taken care of. And in this discussion, three figures have begun to approach. There is the figure of Lady Salome's father, whose name is Jex, so he is of House Cotan, and her mother, which is Matron Fiona of House Bowstone. And the third figure is a much older elven woman, Drow. She has a very sort of, I want to say it's kind of like oh gosh, I'm forgetting which one. Which is the lighter color of lead, like bees?
Oh, ash or something like
No, like actual pencil lead. Whichever one is the lighter one that verges on silver, but it's still like a.
Graphite?
that. Yeah,
Th-
graphite.
You
Let's
mean
go
like the 2B, 2HB thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's the one that's quite
I
light.
should know this.
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember this, and you can tell that her hair it hasn't got that sort of like silvery blonde color to it. Her hair is very very white, like pure white, and she is old enough that you can actually see that she has got a few wrinkles and crow's feet developing, which you would all know, at least those of you that are native to Thala, that this would mean that she is, as far as elven standards go, very old. But she, aside from that, she seems to be in good health, and she is not as tall as Philandria. And at this point in time, she is dressed in a very, in comparison to what Philandria is wearing, her outfit seems to be a muted set of silver robes. If you all like, you could make a history check for me, except maybe Emaris. Emaris, I think maybe you can do it, but with disadvantage, because you are not native to this world.
Well, as she enters, Drew would stand up and kind of brush himself off as take a bow and greet them, the three of them, as they come in.
I rolled a 26 on that history check.
Oof, nice.
Wow.
19 and then get a +7.
Very
Yeah, I
nice.
got 4, big fat 4.
A
I got
4?
as well.
4 as well? 5? Fine.
History.
I got a whopping 6.
Okay.
So I was too busy giving them I was too busy giving them the respect. I was too busy giving them respect.
Chuck, what was yours?
7 total.
Okay. So, Xaxi, you are the only one that actually knows the significance of the specific style of robes that she is wearing, as well as the specific color. It is a very traditional outfit amongst the Drow of Moranson, the Drow culture, that they wear during times of mourning.
Oh.
Yes, and as Philandria is saying something about, I'm sure we'll take care of the guards' families, you hear this older woman sort of perk up and says, Philandria, that is not very becoming of you. Their families deserve respect, and the respect of all of us. They have gone to join the ancestors now. And Philandria, what's everybody's passive insight?
19.
12.
Sharpest attack.
Okay, so you would notice it's very slight, but you notice there's a brief sort of cringe to her eyes of Philandria.
Oh.
It's very brief. You pick it up. The rest of you do not. And she says, of course, grandmother, my apologies. And the Lady Salome's father sort of perks up and says, well, it's good to see all of you here, that you're having something to drink. May I present Grandmatron Il'yiya of House Meztle, and of course my wonderful wife, Matron Il'yiya. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Matron, oh gosh, Fiona, Matron Fiona of House Bowstone. And the resemblance to Salome is uncanny in facial features to her mother. She takes after her mother a lot in facial features. It's just almost, you know, there would be no doubt if you put them next to each other, say like you're definitely related somehow.
Oh, like looking at a mirror.
Yeah. Fiona sort of bows her head and says, "Oh, my dear child," and she comes up to Salome and gives her a hug. "Are you well after all the attacks? We were dreadfully worried. It's so kind of you to come here and check up on all of us. Thank you very much, my dear." And Salome says, yes, of course. And obviously, I wanted to come and introduce you all to my expected. This is Amaris.
Greetings, everyone. This is always pleasant to meet more friends. I hope things are going well for you despite recent events.
So far, things seem to be going all right. Thank you very much. Shall we all sit and have some food or some drink? And you see that the head of the table is actually given to Grandmatron Il'yiya. So I understand, this is Il'yiya speaking, I understand that you all are part of the Unifiers and were somehow involved in the protection of the city up above. I give my undying thanks to you for all that you have done, and I hope that none of your own were lost in what took place.
Actually, I have a question about that. We were on the scene because we were participating in the celebration to make sure that people are safe. Did anyone attack the Undercity?
Are you asking out loud or me?
Yeah, I'm asking her.
Oh, okay.
Because I mean, I haven't heard
Yes.
anything about it yet. So I mean, but we've been busy doing stuff.
Matron Fiona actually answers this question. No, thankfully it seems as if the Undercity was not attacked. The bulk of the festivities and even most of the people had gone above ground for the festival. So thankfully, or perhaps unfortunately, we were not attacked down here, and those that have lost their lives all took place upstairs.
Oh, I guess depending on how you look at it, ma'am, it would be either good or evil, I guess. I'm considering, I'm sure you guys have far more less guards down here than we had up there. So I'd rather, well, we had enough men to subdue it before too many casualties happened. It would have been much more devastating down here. Because it was like 80% of, I knew 80% of the guilds were deployed all around Morans and up. So I'm glad you guys weren't in harm's way.
Well, thank you for your kind words, young man. This is, I suppose there is a silver lining, yes, but we do have dead to mourn amongst our own people, and their remains will be returned to the ancestor trees as soon as we can find them.
Well, me and Tuxel from the Growers Guild, and as you see, regardless of what race, culture, or beast or humanoid, they're all our brothers and sisters, is what our belief is. So we mourn alongside you. At least in my belief, as brothers and sisters.
Matron Il'yiya actually nods a nod of respect to you at that, and she says, "That is very kind, and you have great wisdom in your words. There are many these days that do not see the value in such things as mourning those who are lost. And she has a look at Philandria for a moment. But that you keep this with you is a good sign for the future of the city, I imagine.
Yes. I guess on before before I was a part of the growers, as far as back as my memory can go, I lost someone very close to me that taught me very good lessons in life, and how I was able to overcome that passing was to keep their words with me every day, and at least keep the beliefs alive in the memories. So instead of me, I feeling like I walk alone, they're always stepping beside me.
That is very comforting. So, young man, she's actually looking at you, Amaris, and she calls you young man because she's old and she has no idea how old you may or may not be. I must admit, I have not seen an astral elf in many, many, many years. What brings you to Thala of all places?
I had come initially in search of someone and something. It's a bit of a touchy subject, I suppose.
I do not mean to pry. I hope it is not a terribly burdensome thing on you.
I believe the individuals who attacked the above city were also the individuals who attacked my home and took someone very precious to me.
Lady Salome's mother actually looks you at this and she says, well, what do you mean? Do you have some sort of extra piece of information on who it was that were the attackers above? We've been dealing with our own affairs and haven't managed to get too much information as of yet.
All I can confirm is that the people who attacked my people on that day wore a similar pendant, and I will use minor illusion to make a copy of the pendant that was on the guy that we found. Don't remember who had the actual one.
I think possibly Lady Salome still has it, but you make minor illusion, and in the air you see the pendant that has appeared, and there is the symbol that is on it, which looks almost like 3 strands of rope intertwined together. And they have a look at the symbol here. I have seen this. I have seen this. Hold on a moment. And Jax goes off and disappears for a moment. And 5 or 6 minutes later, he returns with a large book. It is exceptionally large. It is like oh gosh, I forget what that size of paper is now. Is the one that's like double A4 height? Yeah, it's thick like that, and it is absolutely jam packed. And the covering on the book is sort of this very light, very faded leather. You can tell that it is exceptionally old, and there are the writing on the front in the pictographic language, it says, it's the chronicles of Jeston, the chronicles of Jeston Lekal. And you've heard the name Lekal before, which is except as somebody else. There was a person named Lekal, but this is a last name, a family name. It rings a bell to you almost immediately. Jeston Lekal was a great bard and historian that traveled throughout the world of Thala to many, many different places. And it's not very clear exactly what happened to him, because one day he just disappeared. But he had written several of these short tomes. And this is a compilation of all of these stories. It is a chronicle of the places that he visited, the ruins that he delved into, and just there's maps and things that he draws there, rough, what do you call them? Where you put your paper on something and you take an imprint of something.
Rubbing.
Rubbing, there are copies of these rubbings and stuff, which obviously once something gets duplicated like this, it can get duplicated well enough with prestidigitation, but obviously it's not like the original book, you know. But it is very large and very thick. And he sort of slams it down on the table, and a couple of like the plates and everything have this sort of ding sound as things move out of the way. And Fiona says, Jax, no, shh. I've seen this. And he's searching through an index, and he flips a couple of pages, and eventually he finds one place in this book which is fairly deep into it, and you can see that there is what would have been a rubbing, and you see this exact same symbol, and it is written in notations there that these are ruins that he discovered far to the north, and sorry, not the north. These are ruins that he discovered to the south in a much more glacial location on the world. And it is, you can see that there are notes and such there that he wasn't able to get too far into these ruins because the various dangers associated with it. But before he was almost attacked by, and it is written in embellished language, you know, a very bardic language, like, oh, I almost lost my life at the hands of, I was able to recover this one rubbing from this location. And yes, he does not list a name of the city in these stories. It is just that, oh, he visited this location, and there is a rough approximation compared to modern standards, of modern and Thala standards, of what maps, the quality of maps there are now. You can sort of make out where this place might be. There. I was always a fan of his stories. I did not know how much truth there was to any of them, but apparently, wherever this is, he saw this symbol there.
I do walk over to him and was like, a fellow fan of the great works. And if it brings you any pride, if it brings you to share pride with you, in my own life, I've read his stories and found the places where he spoke of, and I can tell you a great deal of them are true. A little overdone, but true.
You know, I did always wonder about the one of that multi-headed serpent creature that he wrote about. I mean, I haven't come across anything like that in any of the books of bestiology or demonology or any such that I've come across before. I don't think that exists. I mean, that doesn't sound feasible.
Oh, sadly, I haven't been able to find all of them. I've just found maybe a good 40%. But at least the bright side is every story has at least a shred of truth.
Dungeon Master, would I be able to scry on my sister?
Would you like to attempt it now?
Yes, but before then, he will say, "This location, here, does this writer, do they mention what the terrain and things are like?"
Yes, he goes into quite a bit of, in my opinion, unnecessary detail about the villagers he spoke to and the hazards of the frigid climate and the various things that he accomplished there. And there is this map, although that's not that good, but there's a fair amount of information in here.
Wonderful. I would like to cast scrying.
All right, so you want to cast Scry. Let me bring that up quick and I'll tell you what you're working with. Because there will be certain pluses and minuses. You are tangentially aware of the location through this book. Do you have anything of your sister's still?
I'd have a locket with her picture in it, but I don't know if I don't think I have anything specific
Okay.
that belong to her.
Okay. So you've met the target. Yes, you know the target well, so that's a -5, all right. Likeness or a picture, position or garment, -4. Okay, so I want to say in total, there's a -9 to this save. What is your saving throw?
19.
19? Okay, so 19. So basically they have to beat a 28 in a sense, right? Or they have to make 28 to actually get this. All right. All right. So, how do you perform your scry?
He reaches into his pocket and he removes the terracotta or is it terracotta? One is stone army and one is a deck of cards. Which one is the deck of cards?
Tarot card.
Tarot.
Tarot.
Taroka.
Okay.
The tarot cards.
Tarot
He
and
removes
Taroka,
the.
different things, but the same thing.
He will remove the cards that will begin floating, and then several of them will kind of spin out at once, and then they will rotate around each other, progressively quickening as a image begins to appear in the center of them.
Excellent. And as the image clarifies in the center, you can see that there is, from this perspective, it looks kind of like some form of chamber. It looks to be hewn out of stone itself, but it is worked. The stone is almost like a red sandstone color. You also see the image of a couple of benches and people over these benches busy writing. They are all wearing very heavy wind protecting sort of garments. But what you notice in all these garments is that they are all fashioned from different materials, and they are in stripes of an off purple, off white, and sort of a burnt mustard yellow. And your image clarifies onto a woman. At least the figure looks feminine from this angle. Hood is up, wearing these same colored robes, scribing something.
Able to see what she's writing.
Make a perception check for me.
Can all of us see this image?
The way that Amaris has described his scry, yes.
I'm gonna give Amaris by inspiration. I put my hand on his shoulder and just give him like the nod, like
You got
and-
this.
What is your
Add a D10, add it to your roll.
$17 total.
17 total. Interesting. Very interesting. What languages do you know, Amaris?
Celestial, Common, Elvish, Gith.
Celestial, Common, Elvish, and Gith. All right. She is writing in a language that you do not know. However, what you know is that it is not a language that is native to Thala. Make a history check for me.
While he's looking at it, can I get closer and take a look and see if I can read it?
Yes?
What would you like me to roll?
30, 20.
Well, so also make that perception check. Dirty 20. All right. You have seen this language before. It is very different here on Thala because it evolved very differently. But this would be Draconic, but not Thala's Draconic.
I do speak Draconic.
What was your perception check there, Tuxel?
Yeah, it's only a 13 though.
So it's a bit well, that's enough to sort of make it out over the shoulder there, but yeah, again, it's not a language you recognize because this is not from, even if you speak Draconic, it's not Thala's Draconic. Amaris, not being from here, has that unique advantage.
Mm.
And as you are witnessing what appears to be your sister scribing things, you hear some footsteps come in, and you hear a voice that says, "Cynthia, it's time. Come." And the figure turns, and you can see now clearly from the hood the profile of your sister. But she looks a lot older than you remember. And she says, "Yes, my lord." And suddenly, the image of all the cards spinning around shatters, and your cards go flying everywhere. and you are physically pushed back off your chair. You don't take any damage, but it's enough to make you sort of fall backwards on your chair.
Amaris, are you
Understand
okay?
how time works here. I'm fine. Just, I don't understand how time works here. It hasn't been that long, I don't think, since I left home. Does time operate differently depending on where you are in this world?
I mean, I've only heard stories from other bards and spelljammers, but you could even time could even pass quickly even while you just teleport to different planes, like such as I've heard stories about you can be there for a couple of days and come out decades later.
I drop a little bit of my mushroom into the my mushrooms into the mushroom wine and say, yeah, things get a little weird here.
And I hope I hope Amaris up. Was Dew able to see what she was writing? Okay.
Was Dew able to see what she was writing?
Reason why, I mean, I don't need to read it, but I mean, I had an idea to what to do with it later.
Not necessarily. She wasn't necessarily able. You weren't necessarily able to see what she was writing unless you wanted to try and make that check as well.
Amaris, why do you ask about time? Is that your sister?
Before, we don't technically have ages, because time does not pass where we're from. That means that any changes would have had to occur since she's been gone. Don't entirely understand how time works in this place, or what exactly time is, but it should not be possible.
Natural 20.
Yeah, you saw that stuff. You saw the writing. Yes. If you wanted to make a history check, you would be able to try and recognize what it was, because you don't know what that writing is.
Okay. I guess that makes sense. I can't. All right, it's practically I can't fail because Amaris probably would tell me what it is.
True.
But I give it a shot just to see.
Sure, yeah. Amaris will likely tell you what it is. I would say almost for sure.
Yeah, it was a 9. It didn't, I mean, but yeah. Anyway, carefully as he remembers it clearly, kind of like as everyone's kind of like helping him, talking, trying to comfort Amaris. He reached into one of his pockets and he used prestidigitation to basically copy what they were writing onto a piece of paper, a foliage on his person to decipher later.
Very good. Lady Salome sort of like puts a hand on yours, Amaris, and says, "Are you all right, my love?"
Though I don't assume that any of you recognize that location.
I'm afraid not, no. And Fiona says, "No, I'm afraid that my work here keeps me quite busy. We take care of some of the mining industry in this area, and, well, since they've now reopened the wall, things are going to get very interesting for almost everyone involved in that sector at this point in time. But we were also dealing with things earlier today. But no, I have not left Mirandon in some time, unfortunately." And Philandria says, "It looked kind of boring It was very, very drab from what I could see. It doesn't seem to be anything that I recognize. I don't think I'd find myself in locations like that.
Insight check. Don't
Sure.
trust her.
Make an insight check.
Um,
Chuck, the mushrooms that you've added to the mushroom wine, it gives it a very
Oh.
interesting flavor. It makes it a little bit savory, but in a good
Very
way.
familiar.
Yeah.
I'm rolling so poor today. It's a 4. But I do want to keep studying her. Did she give any reaction to the scrying or the book coming out or anything like that? There's just, I don't know. Tuxel doesn't trust her.
Okay. Yeah, you can keep studying. And keep your eyes on
I
him.
take it that none of you can speak the original dragon language, yes?
No, but but I do have a friend that does. So, like I said, I've met plenty of spelljammers.
The original is up for debate, I would say, young man. It depends on where you come from.
True. I'm just wishful thinking. It's kind of my motif.
I'll have to
I
look into that.
imagine if you would like, while you are in the Undercity, you might visit the academy. Perhaps they have something there that might help you.
Would it be possible to make a copy of some of these maps for reference to take with us? It's whatever place he's referencing here. It seems like well, I very much want to go there.
I think what Shashi means to say, Father, is that I'm going to borrow your book. It's a first editions. Yes, it's fine. Just take good care of it, please.
With our lives.
We don't go that far. It's only a book, but it is first edition.
We will treasure the knowledge inside of it and do our best to keep it safe.
So your conversation has been happening, and food has been brought out during this time, and there's the wine that has been provided to everyone to drink, and the meal is sort of coming to a close in a sense while
Whose
all of
house
this
is-
is happening.
Question: whose house is this? Just to make sure.
Lady Salome's.
Okay, then never mind. I was gonna do a thing when dude was like, "Oh, I'm gonna use the restroom and go sneak around," but this is Lady Salome's house. I sit right back down.
Yeah, it's Lady Salome's house. But Mistress Grandmatron Il'yiya stands and says, "Come, Philandria, we have duties to attend to. We have a ceremony to take care of this evening." "Yes, grandmother, I will be along. Delightful to see you again, Salome, and thank you so much, Matron Fiona. Your home is always a delight." And as they walk off, she looks at Du and Shock. "Remember, I have a ball coming up. You should attend."
As he just reads, he just holds up a glass. We'll be. I was like, trust me, we'll be there.
And they leave for this point in time.
Well, thank you for being a good entertainer, madam.
Yes, thank you for hosting. It was a pleasure meeting you. I guess this is the third time I've met you. I'm not sure if you remember, but I was like, but I usually, I mean, I like to remember all the, whenever I meet royalty.
Well, I don't know if we'd call ourselves royalty, but the sentiment is well taken. And yes, of course, I remember you do. Now, I do have some things to take care of myself as well. And Jax, would you mind seeing everybody out?
one more thing, Grand Matron Fiona.
Oh, just matron.
Oh, Matron Fiona. I say, be extremely careful of who you travel with. All right, because we never know. I was like, you never know who's in your employ or in the crowd.
That is disturbing advice, but well intentioned. Thank you.
Dangerous times comes takes a little bit more caution, I guess.
Thank you. And take care of my daughter. I know she likes to think that she can do everything herself, but she is my little girl and she's important to me. And don't tell her I said that.
Trust me. I've been doing this for quite a while, and I do carry quite pride with myself, keeping my friends and colleagues alive.
And this conversation is happening a little bit away from the table where you are, so it's just between there. And she says one more thing.
Over to her.
And do let me know what you think of this, Amaris. I just want to make sure that my little girl has good taste and judgment.
If it puts your mind at ease, I can tell you as a very insightful man, he seems honest and kind. Possibly hard to understand and confusing at times, but being eccentric is never a bad thing.
I mean, I married one such man, so.
And he's a fine such man. You did good, and you have good eyes yourself, ma'am. I bid you adieu.
And they leave. And Jax takes off as well, and Salome says, so we are down here. Is there anything you wanted to do? Or because we have a couple of days off, I guess, or some leads we could follow up on, or
Is
there's a
there
lot we could do.
is there any libraries that have knowledge that is not has not been given to the
Keepers?
your keepers? I'm not sure there's certain noble families that don't share the family knowledge with them, or is it the Jedi's that they don't have a choice but to tell them? Because I can foresee them taking it by force.
No, that's not really what we do, but I'm sure lots of people have things that they don't give to the keepers, but it's our job to collect knowledge if we can, but unless somebody is doing something wrong with that knowledge, we won't really have any reason to take them to task or put them in jail or anything like that.
I was just
While they're
curious.
good.
I think he was finished.
While they are talking, I will ritually cast augury.
All right. Excellent. So you can ask 3 questions, right?
No, I believe it's 1 for augury, and it is given
Okay.
as wheel, woe, wheel and woe, or nothing.
Okay. Excellent. You begin casting your spell. And it begins to while people are having conversations and such, while Amaris is busy ritually casting there, what are you all doing? Because it takes 10 minutes.
I want to ask Lady Salome. So several of the people that we found, they were all from the Undercity, right? And from noble houses.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to Matron Il'yiya, but Philandria and I didn't feel like doing it once I knew that Philandria was here, so
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, and he was like, I agree. I felt especially since the Undercity wasn't attacked. I'm glad for that.
Yeah.
I was concerned. I was slightly concerned of bringing that to their attention.
Because if I were gonna, attack a city and try and take down, oh, I don't know, the patriarchy and all the guards were upstairs and, everyone else who I needed to remove were downstairs, that feels like a missed opportunity.
Wait, based
Hmm.
on my, do you know people? Do you know the list of people? You guys have a list of people that what I aren't so reliant on the keepers and the knowers. Keepers of the knowers. Which one's the one that keeps knowledge? It's the keepers, right?
Keepers.
Yeah.
Not
Like any of them that are unfriendly. Like you said, there's people that do keep knowledge.
well, we're kind of like internal police, so a lot of people are unfriendly.
The only reason why I'm curious now is I know most of the I now since we've brought it to our attention, a lot of them have been even a lot of the matriarchs were up celebrating with the rest of the townspeople. Why was this someone broke in and stole and took old books of your family because they were looking they're looking they're searching through a bunch of old records of the noble families.
Right, but it seemed like they were interested in the Arch-Chancellor's family in particular, and that's got nothing to do with any of the Drow nobles.
Does anyone here have the thing where you can send a message to someone you know?
I've got that. It's the we can continue. Technically, we can talk to the people in the Guild of Knowers because we have sending stones to them. I'm not sure if everyone forgot that. I got it right here. I just looked at my
You've got your
Like
guild
she-
sending stones, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was thinking about something maybe a little naughty.
what? He's like,
How?
I mean, there's something about Philandria. She protests too much, I think is the word that humans use. I want to send her a message and see if she responds.
well, I can't do that. But I mean, technically, I can have Red Eye give her a written message for you.
I
If
think
you want
that's too dangerous.
Red Eye doesn't have Red Eye is he is he's a servant. He doesn't actually have a physical form. He is unable to die. He is a familiar.
Do you have sending at all, Chuck?
I don't think so. If it was possible, I doubt it's something I thought, oh, I'm gonna use that.
Because yeah, you would prepare your druid spells every day.
Yeah, I definitely have not prepared sending or any
When is
message or
this
anything.
ball that they mentioned? Perhaps it seems reasonable that she would be there at this ball. Perhaps if it's within a close enough time frame, you two could chat there.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, she did invite me and Shock on the cable car to come to her ball. I find it weird how she didn't invite the rest of you.
If I'm remembering correctly, I believe it was.
It was me, Nixie, and Shock.
Yeah,
Red.
but I believe just time frame. I believe it is
She said
a
it was like a week or
month.
two later.
Oh yeah, it's about 2 weeks. I think I said in about
Yeah.
2 weeks. So yeah, it's now just under 2 weeks, I imagine.
Yeah.
It's a bit of time, but it would give you a chance at less chance that the message would be intercepted.
And as
Well-
you are having this conversation, Amaris, your spell ritually completes. What would you like to know?
All right. So the spell says I get an omen about an action, a specific course of action. So I'm gonna play a little lifting with the word action there.
Hmm.
Would trusting someone count as an action?
I would say yes.
Then he will want to know if he can. Oh, how do you phrase it? He wants to know about trusting these noble people, these noble women he has met.
All of them?
An omen. Specifically the two whose names I'm forgetting, but the ones I just talked to, the Drow women, the one that was
Oh, the
Philandria.
Philandria and Grandmatron Il'yiya.
Yes,
Okay.
those two specifically.
So, you still use your cards for this, correct? Yes. So the two cards that come up are the Nine of Swords and the Six of Wands, which you would interpret as weal and woe.
Oh, upon receiving those results, he will begin casting a separate spell.
Okay.
Same ritual casting.
Okay, all right. So you are all having your conversation, and Amaris is busy casting spells up, and your conversation continues.
How do you pronounce your character's name again?
Amaris or Tuxel?
No, I die. I know
Oh.
Tuxel.
Oh, Xaxi.
Yeah. Oh, Sashi. Okay, cool. I. Hey, Sashi. Being a dexterous way of the martial arts, on. Do you think me and you should be sneak? We should sneak around the city a little bit and do. Talk to some people like the old times in the bars. You protect me from getting my face caved in, and I help you and I help you not bite your tongue.
You're muted, Die.
I think that sounds like a lovely idea, but perhaps we should it seems like perhaps we're wrapping up here. Maybe we take everyone out. I would love for Lady Salome to show us, her favorite bars and places that she goes. And I think if we're going to do any sneaking, oh, I know. If we want to sneak, we should. I hate to violate the hospitality of Lady Salome's family, but it would be perhaps Tuxel. I know you wanted to find out more information. What if we sneak into some of the rooms here without anyone noticing us?
Why my house, though? I don't understand.
Well, what
Lady,
about sorry, I'm gonna look up her
Flandria's
name real
house?
quick. What about
Flandria?
Lady Il'yiya's house?
I'm having my brain turn into goop. It's Philomena, right?
Philandria.
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 Mm.
Well, does Lady Philandria have a room here? Perhaps we could sneak in there and
Oh,
see if
no.
there's...
Gods, no. No. No.
No, we can't do that, or no, she doesn't have a room here.
No, she doesn't have a room here.
Where does she live?
Oh,
Lives within the city.
they're across town. They have their own manor house there.
Yeah, we should go to their manor house and sneak in.
And we can hit the bars along the way.
I was only curious considering I was only curious because usually when we sneak around, I sneak it around usually on fares best of smaller groups. I can take care of I can take care of myself if we get caught, and but I'm not. I was like, but I'm only able to save myself. I'm just hoping. I was like, I would try intervening to help you, get away on Xaxi, but I'm not sure how long I could intervene for all of us.
No, that's fair. I just really Philandra is the only one I'm curious about, and if there's nothing here to find for her, then we should go to where we think the information is, yes?
Well, if you want to check out the academy, we can go there. And on the way, there is this really good place I used to sneak to, which I loved. I think you'll like it. It's a good bar.
I mean, if they have more of this wine, I'm very interested.
Oh shoot! I just realized something, guys. I was totally wrong. I forgot we had 2 druids. We can legitimately have 2 of you guys turn into mice and run around the house.
I mean, I can become very small.
How about
And
you, Mars? How you got? What's your sneakiness like, friend?
at about this time, Amaris, your second spell does complete. What were you casting?
Virtually casting a telepathic bond.
All right. And what does that do?
As the ritual is being completed, a number of cards, 6 of them will emerge from the deck before rotating slowly in place and then quickly spreading out one to each of the party members, including Salome. And will kind of, if you've ever seen like the and all of the TV shows with card games where they do that kind of like 3D floating spinning thing,
Yeah.
it's doing that. And then Amaris will reach forward and take his, and when he touches it, the card itself will shatter before returning to the deck.
Doesn't matter what cards we got or no.
And
Yeah, I want the moon because or the aurora because apparently that does with the water.
Oh, he doesn't come from here, so his would just have a moon on it.
Sweet, I'm like
So the telepathic bond allows you to do.
Assuming they consent, we can speak telepathically.
Nice. For an hour. Nice. Excellent.
And it's over any distance, except for other
Nice.
planes of existence.
That is really nice. Wow, that's a dope spell.
Nice. High level characters, people.
Yeah, yeah.
Assuming you all have accepted your card, you should be able to understand me now, yes?
Oh, indeed.
Shock, it's weird. You have another voice join the hive.
Do we get to hear the hive
The
too,
more
so we're all
the
connected?
merrier.
That's a good question. That's
Oh,
a
no.
very good question.
Welcome to my world.
I'm going to say, everybody make me a
no.
persuasion check.
Persuasion?
Persuasion.
Oh no.
No. It's an 11.
Okay.
8 total?
8, yeah.
I don't know if I had to, but
22.
22.
Mhm.
And Morris?
24.
19 for me.
19 for you. Chuck, you did not need to do it.
Okay, good.
So, Do and Amaris, as this connection forms between all of you, allowing yourself to speak telepathically, for a moment it's like there's more than just 6 people here. There's a lot of people here. And then it's an interesting feeling. For a second, it feels as if you're connected to hundreds and hundreds of minds, all individual, but all working together for a form of harmony. And you all hear in your heads, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello. Hi, how's it going? Welcome. You're new.
Greetings.
Hi, welcome.
Pleasure to be here on the show.
And then you hear
Just another time.
another one that says, I don't know if we're supposed to speak to them. I everything goes. No, it's fine. I said we could. Shh, shh, shh. They're busy. Shh, shh.
Forgive my absence from your conversation, but I believe it is very likely, or at least possible, that we are being watched, and it would take quite an impressive feat of magic to listen into this conversation now. I have received information, and I believe that at least one of those two other people cannot be trusted. Though I suppose technically they both could not be trusted and trusted. But the most likely outcome is that one of those two can't be trusted.
Oh, I do have an ability to help me sneak around if need. If you guys want to, if we want to split up the city, a couple of some of the less sneakier ones go to the academy, and then some of the sneakier ones go to sneak around their place.
I'm interested to see if Lady Philandria, even though she was wearing a beautiful dress, if maybe she has a cloak in her closet of many different materials and many different colors.
She did seem like a woman of style, as he says sarcastically.
I mean, perhaps it's just because her attitude toward the fallen and injured rubbed me the wrong way. Either she just doesn't care, or she is putting on a very good show.
Either way, we should find out if we can trust her, because if it's young nobles that are being taken in by whatever this is, she can either help us or she can help us.
I don't mean to interrupt your planning. Is there a reason that you wish to go to see her home yourselves?
I don't want you guys to get caught in a noble's house where we're not supposed to be. Because I can save on maybe one. I can save myself and one other person, but that gets. And do will tell you that's about my limit. I can help you.
I suppose I could try scrying on her to see if it's worth it.
True, her home just seemed like the place that any evidence would most likely be found. Unless anyone knows where she may spend a majority of her time.
Lady
Don't
Salome, at this
disagree
bar
on
that you were
that.
talking about, do other nobles of the Undercity hang out there?
Lots of people go there. It's kind of like just off campus as well, so a lot of people go there. I didn't need to sneak out. I just did it because to show that I could.
Well, yeah.
That's very you.
I don't
Wait.
disagree with that. I was just asking. I don't have to be there to watch the insides of their homes, but if you all wish to watch, go yourselves. I won't stop you.
I was just saying that I could probably. I know how scrying works. I can open up books, and you could possibly be scrying on me and be able to see what I see in a way, if need be. If I require your otherworldly knowledge. If that sounds believable to you, that sounds that sounds good to you. But I only
Up
have.
to
He
you,
goes.
I don't.
I only he goes since we can speak. In our minds now. I only he goes. I am a jack of all trades and master of none. I do have a great. I do have a great. I do have great control over my magic, but I won't. I don't have as much mastery as you do.
Don't mind. I can watch from here. Scry on them, but I have other means as well. I have many different abilities.
Amarius, how long does this last?
In your understanding, I believe an hour.
On favor of of all going to one area, say aye. or nay for the splitting the party?
Well, it's
Hello?
gonna take a while to get there. They're on the other side of town. So, we'll have to take the tram kind of like to the university, and then it's maybe like another hour from the university. And to get to the university is probably going to take maybe a day.
Well, shoot.
Is the Undercity as big as the top? Is it just
Not
kind of
as big, no. The difference with the Undercity is that it occupies the same space as sort of like the central hub. So it doesn't have the branches like those things. The branches are there, technically speaking, but in a different sense because that's where mining happens. There are rivers, there are other canyons and all sorts of stuff that flow underground. But the Undercity itself is more like the central hub sized. So maybe not quite a day, but yeah, maybe not quite a day, actually. Let me think. No, less than a day. Less than a day to get there. So so it would take you with the tram and then the travel from the university, probably half a day actually.
I mean, if the bar is on the way.
All right,
Let's
we
see
have a
what-
plan.
Let's see what skeletons are in their closet.
And we can
Literally.
pick up at least.
It's time for some spring killing, kids.
What?
So we're going to pick up on the tram itself. That it is circular. It goes around the entirety of the edge of the Undercity, and it's not much to do here. People get on and off. It's faster than walking for sure, but you have a couple of hours here on the tram for discussion. And you can
I will
each
literally
mark
cast
off
all
like
hands.
you can each mark off about 5 silver for your journey.
And we can have like this whole discussion in our heads, right? Like nobody can hear us if we
Yeah.
want.
Sure.
That's amazing.
Sure. All right. So you are all able to talk to each other as Amaris is once again ritually casting Audrey. And you can see that there are a couple of different people that are on this tram. They are a couple that look as if they have come from, being patched up upstairs and are now making their way home to where they would be. There are just regular people with some baskets and such, which might have wares in that they have purchased for the day. It's not super full, it's not super empty, it's just a average amount of people on this tram at this point in time.
Can I find a place that's a good, a good air, like a good sized area? And I'm gonna a dude's gonna take out like this set of utensils and stuff, and he's gonna start brewing some tea.
So I'm
Straight
brewing
up.
some tea on the
Straight up,
tram.
yep, straight up brewing some tea on the tram. Everyone looks thirsty.
Make a let's see, I'll go for sleight of hand for this because you're trying to be careful while on a moving vehicle that does rumble. Just to see if you spill anything. You'll be successful, but we just want to see, are you going to accidentally burn yourself or somebody while making this tea?
13.
13 is fine. There's a few bumps every now and then, but you stop just in time and keep going, and then quickly touch something to make it not fall over, but do not burn your hands. But you managed to produce some tea.
Like the classic, how samurais used to do tea when you watch them grind up it and then they just put the whole thing in, and then like the people getting patched up, he's like, "Would you like the first cup?"
Oh, yes. Thank you. That would be quite kind of you. This sort of elderly, sort of deep gnome says as he takes a cup of tea. It's like, this is quite delicious. But avant-garde to be making it on the tram, but good, well played to you, young man.
Oh, it just seemed everyone had such a sour expression. So I thought to lighten the spirits up with a tasty treat.
Well, a tasty treat is needed. I think I came into the city for the festival, and it was definitely a lot more festive in a different way than I was hoping at my age.
I don't think
Indeed.
any of us were expecting that.
No, not at all. Not at all. This is I was making my way just from my home village, you see. It will take me some time to get back there. I didn't even get the chance to find somebody I need to help me out with what I was looking for.
What were you looking to do? You don't mind me asking.
Oh, well, it's a long story. I don't really want to trouble strangers in the tram. I was hoping to maybe take this matter to one of the wayfinders if I could, but
We're having tea together. We're not strangers anymore.
you have a good point, and I suppose it's quite a long ride to my stop anyway. Well, you see, my village is a little bit of ways to the north here. It's a small fishing village, you see, and we've been having some troubles recently. There have been some children that have gone missing, and keeps on happening. Roughly every 2 or 3 nights, another child goes missing.
That's terrible.
We heard some rumors, or not necessarily rumors, I would say. We have some stories that are local to our area about witches living in the hills, and we've never experienced anything like this before, you understand, but now that the children have gone missing, they have all been young girls.
Oh.
Do you have any leads as to who or what might be committing these heinous crimes?
As I said, some people have said that it has to be the work of these witches, but nobody really believes in that. I mean, I'm an old man, and I don't even believe in that. But as legends go, it's those ones that persist. No particular leads, but every 2 or 3 nights, everything. Well, how could I describe it? We all wake up in the morning with no real memory of going to sleep, and another child has gone missing.
Why don't you just ask the witches?
I don't believe they exist, but we are just a small fishing village. We wouldn't have any power to deal with witches of any sort. I suppose that's not a very accurate term, though. I know many witches within the city. What is the word for it? My memory these days. In the stories, I believe they call them hags. Not quite witches.
Oh.
Are there. You don't happen to know of any stories about this happening maybe in your youth when you were younger? Like you said, you've been here experiencing life for quite some time, and between you and me, fellow gnome, I know how long that can really be.
Indeed. Yes. Well, I would say there have been stories of these witches in our village, but we have other local legends as well. But the you might have heard of us. I mean, it's fairly well known, actually. Have you heard of the village of Ilin?
Have I heard of the village of Ilin?
Yeah, you can all make a history check. You can have advantage on this.
A advantage kid.
11. That dice is going to dice jail.
18.
Nice.
5.
Gosh, where the heck is that freaking thing? So 18 and 18 and 11, you've definitely heard of it. 5, you have not heard of it. But Chuck, you will get a bit more information, and it makes sense that you will get a bit more information.
So,
How about yourself, Do?
I have 10.
10.
It rolled 2 10s. I'm like, that's weird.
Strangely enough, you've heard of it, but you have not heard the extra bit of information that Chuck will have. So you both know, well, all three of you have definitely heard of the village of Ilin, and that it is a small fishing village. But a long time ago, there was some kind of great evil that was vanquished there by a paladin of the Bringers. Chuck, you are actually a lot more knowledgeable about this from the time of your time with the Bringers, and this paladin was an elven woman by the name of Jalan Mirin, and it is said that she took on a very old and dangerous evil in the area, and she vanquished it, but it was at the cost of her own life. You know of her specifically because she is the last wielder of a divine sword, which was actually blessed by the god of neutrality. And the
whose
sword...
name is what?
Yes, I will get that for you in a second. The god of neutrality, which is the white marble dragon known as Scylla. Again, because of your time with the Makers, this is one of those hero stories. Like, well, if you serve the gods well enough, they might even bless you. That you would have gotten during your time during the Bringers, and the name of the sword is Ishkel.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. I suppose I would pipe up at that and be like, sorry, did you tell, what was the name of the village itself? I forgot to write that one.
I need to put these things in better places because now I've lost the freaking page that was on again. We're a small fishing village by the name of Ilin, Ilin. And yes, we have stories of the great paladin who vanquished an evil in the area, and we formed our village there, and there's a lovely statue of her in the town center. That's probably what we're most famous for, although nothing really happens in Ilin. But the stories of the hags in the area, they're maybe 600 or 700 years old. So I heard them growing up from my grandmother, or at least, yeah, when I was a child.
Well, the stories of your village are, far, far, far more reaching than that. Guys, we kind of got to go. This is like, bringer history.
Yeah, I mean, the other job probably could wait. Like I said, in a little less than 2 weeks, there would be a ball, and then it would be a little easier to, have an entrance into where we're going.
And you can see that the elderly deep gnome sort of takes glasses off of his face and sort of cleans them up a bit and puts them back on, sort of squints and has a look at you all. It's like, oh, that's much better. I'm sorry, my glasses have gotten awfully dirty. Oh, you're all wearing Unifiers insignias.
Yes, sir.
That is correct, grandfather.
Mm.
And
Yep.
while we
Super.
have important pressing business, unless anyone objects, I think a situation where children are being abducted takes precedence.
Well,
Indeed.
we were hoping to contact the Huntmaster. Perhaps you could get in touch with him and bring him with you if that would be acceptable.
I do have a colleague we do have a colleague that's a huntmaster. I wonder if Huntmaster Celeste is around the city.
I don't know if that's his name, but I would leave that to you. If you would be so kind, then I will be staying here in the Undercity, sort of recovering from my injuries.
Of course. Do I have any sort of like small trinket or something with a symbol of the knowers on it to like give to him to go to the knowers to get healed up?
Sure.
Take my card.
I'm
Sure.
just waiting for it. It just has like a picture of on Xaxi on it. It's like, hey, heal this guy up. And she has like, the little.
It's a small
doodle for
statue of Buddy Thurston
Yes.
with a bobblehead.
got the
Two tentacles
chibi.
up.
The chibi version of Tharsdown.
Yeah. Yeah, you hand him a small thing. It's like, oh, thank you. I'll make my way to one of the stations around. Amaris, during this conversation, your augury has completed again. Oh, you might be muted, right?
On this.
There we go. We got you now.
Am I muted?
No, we can
I'd
hear you.
like to know about spying on this woman. Oh Jesus. Philandria.
Spying on her through which sense? Direct or indirect? Like magical or?
Just in general, spying on her. Good thing, bad thing, neutral thing.
Once again, you get you get 2 cards which represent weal and woe.
You said this journey would take multiple hours, correct?
Yes, it's going to take half a day just to get to where the academy is. Yeah.
Then sporadically throughout the hours, I will be casting the spell over and over again for Telepathic Bond because it only lasts an hour each time.
Understood. And the old man says to you, my name is it Longfoot. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Would I have ever been to that village? Or probably not.
Roll percentile dice.
Dope. Oh,
Hello.
let's see. Oh, shoot.
It's nice to meet you.
And you as well.
So I take 96, I think.
96. You've been that way before.
Oh, okay. Well, I just dope.
Yeah.
That leaves me with a lot less things to need to ask.
You know why he's asking for he was looking for maybe the hunt master, because there are different ways to get there. The easiest way and the safest way, but also the longest way, would be by river. That would take you roughly 4 or 5 days. The shortest way would be actually to have some steeders, because they can walk up and down vertical surfaces, and then you can just travel along the canyons. But there are dangers involved with that, in that a lot of those canyons are home to manticores.
I'm
Well,
down
there's
to
really,
fight some manticores.
well, it's the very questionable way of when we get to the and when we get to the academy, we ask one of the teachers to teleport us for some extra coin.
What are we talking about?
That
We-
depends.
Mostly just how we're gonna possibly go about going to this village.
And it seems that we have a few different options. We can travel by boat, which is the longest and safest route. We can travel by steeder, which is quicker but more dangerous. Or we can risk quite a bit and see if we can meet a friendly caster who is able and willing to teleport us.
Get your portals here. Cheap, cheap.
I mean,
I think I might have missed something. Where are we going? I thought we were just going to do something else. But
Yes,
we're saving children.
the plans. I think if everyone agrees, the missing children seem to be more pressing. The small fishing village,
Hold on.
Ilin.
Ilin, they're in need of help, and I can't say no to a fellow gnome, and I can't say no to missing children.
Mostly because it rhymes, my dear. Oh no, this is in your head. Never mind.
Oh, oh man, I wish he was. I wish he was a part of our head canon.
well, of course, yes, of course.
And do not worry. We're all. I was like, we all just go and we all go and see what I was up when we go and see when we go to the ball her ball at our house. So then we're invited guests instead of prowlers in the night.
One is preferred.
Indeed.
And
Yeah, it's not the
Maris,
just saying, Morris, it's not the prowlers.
as Du is suggesting this, a card falls out of your tarot deck, which you thought you'd put away decently, but it's definitely a much more positive outcome kind of card.
It's the sun card up, so it's sunny side up. Okay.
Well,
We also
That's fine, of course.
this is actually a village of pretty high legend. There's a chance of magical gizmos and gadgets. If there's anything to be believed in the stories.
well,
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. While you have your conversations out loud and everything, aside from the ones in your head, I think I'm about to get off at this stop here. But yes, you can look me up when you find me. I'll just be staying at the Weeping Inn.
See you on. I do not worry. I new but elderly friend. We would return with good news, and hopefully, the children that were have gone missing would return to their families safe and sound. Because we
Hope
all know
so.
the children is our future.
I hear it, like in Dude's head. I don't know if we can promise safe children. We can promise
Fine.
that we'll try.
Oh, and I said that's why
They
I was
may have been eaten by now. I wouldn't tell him that.
that's why I didn't promise. I said hopefully. I didn't promise them anything.
Oh, it sounded like oh, that really was promising.
All of you are squinting really hard. Are you all right?
Something's in my eye. You know, I've got a chronic dry eye. I need my eye drops.
Something
He just
belonging
uses
to one
for
of the
juice
missing
water.
children.
You see him use shape water and just like makes the water moisture and just drops in his eyes. He goes, there we go.
Excellent.
Do you have something belonging to one of the missing children?
Oh no, I do not. Thankfully, well, you know, all my children are all grown and they moved from Ilin some time ago, but I maintain my homestead there. I decided to make the journey myself because the people, the families were grieving and doing searches, and these old bones aren't good for too much, but an easy travel on the river to ask for help is within my means.
I was waiting for him to be like a level, 20 war wizard, and he's like
He is a fisherman, man.
He said that he had injuries. Like, what kind of injuries does it look like he has?
Oh,
Which one is
it
that?
looked as if he had possibly sustained a few burns and a few scrapes from a fall. But everything is all, pretty patched up and such.
oh no, Adrian, he's a retired. I know he retired and then became a fisherman.
Retired adventurer became a fisherman. It's all good.
Hey man, who knows? Maybe that's Stu Baller's thing after he
It
retires.
could be. So, the journey on the tram continues, and people get on and off, and you all might take a little bit of a nap or anything. So if anyone needs a short rest, they can definitely mark off that on the journey there. And after some time, you arrive at the stop, and Salome says, "Okay, we're here. We can get off." This stop is sort of right outside the academy, and there are beautiful grounds here with different kinds of fungal trees, and you see that there are open auditoriums, all in the same sort of craftsmanship style that we had discussed before. Everything grown out of the Zerkwood as such, and the academy itself is very, very large in the distance. Many, many different buildings and various quads that you can see. And she says, well, we can go in there, or we can head to the tavern, or whatever we might want to do, really.
If we're gonna go do this thing for the gnome friend, shouldn't we contact the guild and like ask them or tell them, or can we just go do things?
I got you. Yo, is that a thing we do? Do we have to grab the thing to do the thing?
You have to touch it like Star Trek communicator style and think of the person you want to speak to.
Okay, I'm gonna touch it. I'm gonna think of Huntmaster Celeste, and it's like, hey,
Celeste,
what's up?
Celeste, yeah.
Celeste. Oh, Celeste.
Okay. What is it, Bard?
Hello, old friend. Do you want to save some children and become a legendary hero spoken in all of the Bard's songs back in my homeland? It's from a fellow gnome asking, man.
I'm not a gnome, Bard.
Oh, you're just incredibly short.
He's not short.
I think he's like 5 foot something.
No, he's literally Imagine Geralt of Rivia, but as a wood elf. That's the last. Are you thinking about Drexful, the steward?
That's him. Oh,
yeah, you might be thinking of Drexful. He looks like the DM from the old Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. That's what Drexful.
I like to think it's canon that he mistook Huntmaster for Drexel.
You guys haven't taken a long rest. You've done a lot. You're like pushing exhaustion here. This is the thing. It's been a long day, Dew. Yes, I'm able to help people. Where are you and what do you need?
I tell him we're gonna be making our way to. Right now I'm in the I'm in the it's the Arcane College on the Undercity, right?
Oh, they called the academy.
The academy. I'm
Yeah.
in the academy in the Undercity, but I'm gonna see if I can find a talent. Where me and the rest of the group are gonna try to see if we find one of the headmasters here to hook us up with possibly a teleportation spell, or we're gonna be making our way over there in a few days or so. If you would be so kind to meet us there, or
Fucking hate portals. Yes, I can meet you in the Undercity if you like, but when you speak to Ilin, tell him he owes me money.
okay.
Thank
you. I thank you, Huntmaster.
He doesn't respond.
Bright side, guys. I come back and he goes, well, I got I got an old Huntmaster buddy to help us out. Just saying. I do know someone that can help us with the portal if we need a portal. Plus, the guy that owes us help us with the portal owes the Huntsmaster money. Just saying. If anyone was curious, now you know, Mr. President.
These are significant boons to our cause. Perhaps we should. I know Lady Sean is still recovering from the attack, but perhaps we should let someone high up in the Unifiers know what's going on. I imagine this is something that would pique their interest.
Do
mean,
we'll
they've
have to
always-
call what's his Oh
Jaxful.
God. Yeah,
Jaxful.
and talk about how tall he is. Oh, yo, Geralt.
Yeah, he's like, yo, Jixel, can you do me a favor, brother? Can you let them? Can you let these people know about what we're doing? Thanks, man.
We've always been given assignments. I just want to make sure we're not going to get in trouble for just sort of taking one.
Yeah.
If the Unifiers are against us taking a detour to help a cause of missing children and a blighted village, then I don't know if that's a guild I really want to be a part of.
I mean, I'm sure they'd want to handle it. I just, if they want us to handle it,
These little adventures are
Like-
why they give us personal leave.
This is all right. Did anything happen after I pretty much asked him? if
Oh,
he
was
can let
that? I
them-
thought you were making fun. I didn't realize that was an actual conversation.
I'm going. All right. I'm gonna try. I'm being better. I'm not. When I say stuff in game, unless I'm gonna say
Okay.
specifically DM, it's do is saying it.
All right. So, you don't get a response, and then after a little bit, you get a response that says, "Have you lost your mind, boy? It's been a long day. There've been fires, and I'm taking care of. I am an old man, and I have been sleeping, and you can contact me at the... What did you say?"
I'm just letting you know that me and my party were gonna go and intervene with missing children are being kidnapped in a village, and I was wondering if you can let the guild masters know, just so we don't poof out of nowhere off the map, and they wondered what happened to us.
You know what? I'm too tired and too old for this. Yes, fine, whatever. Get hold of that one that should bathe more often, the tall boy with the handsome one. I'm going to bed.
Oh,
You take by that he meant Salas.
Okay. Hey guys, guess what? He told me we had to get permission from Zalas, and I already got permission from Zalas.
Well, okay then.
Seems
her-
like our What as you say, do the ducks are in a row?
Yes, ma'am. So,
Ducks.
he goes, and he looks over at Shock. He goes, Shock. Oh, the time. I was like, I've known you the longest. Out of most of my colleagues. Do you find me annoying?
No, not at all.
Salome, Lady
Goes
Salome
right over my
says to
head.
you, Mars, well, they're kind of like these small birds. Well, they can be kind of big. They go quack. It's a duck.
They waddle too.
I don't know why you'd want them in a row, though. I never understood that thing.
They're easier to catch and eat that way. Amarius, is it okay? Because I know that you wanted to find your sister.
Sister is a strong woman. She can handle herself for a little longer.
So we're not going to the library here, then?
I mean, if we have to wait for our hunter, killy, stabby hag friend, then I mean, we might as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
you guys go ahead and to the library. I'm going to go and look for my contact here that I need to go find.
As you are all turning to sort of head into the academy grounds proper, you see that there is a group of students and someone else that is on like a quad kind of thing, and there is a very handsome drow man who has a beard, and he seems to be bare chested, quite well built, and he has sort of like longish flowing pants on, and he has some water in his hands, and he is magically sort of guiding people through these different move sets of using this water, essentially like a meditation, almost water bending type practice. He seems to be someone that's close to you if you want to ask for directions.
Okay.
I'm really into what he's doing, so I'm just going to float right in and just start doing it with them.
Yeah, dude's gonna use on disguise self and get like the robes on and doing it with them.
The man sort of smiles as some of you begin to join in on this, and then he says, "All right, I think that's it for our class today. Welcome, newcomers. I haven't seen you on the campus before. Are you new enrollees? Are you looking for a tour? Perhaps I can show you around."
Looking for a friend, looking for a friend, sir. And I tell him the name that escapes me at the moment.
Oh, you're looking for the headmaster.
Sweats.
Sure.
We are on urgent unifier business for the seeking information and knowledge for the good of the entire city, and we require a guide.
This is a place of learning, and there is no one better to help you out than the headmaster himself. I will lead you straight to his office.
Thank you.
Thank you. I am Xaxi of the Guild of Knowers and the Guild of Unifiers. What is your name?
Well, you see, and he leads you not too far into the building and opens up a door that you can see there's like a very nice, not super huge, but it's a nice looking office with a lot of things. He says, "My name," as he grabs a towel and sort of wipes off some sweat and grabbed from the office, "is Headmaster Ilin of the Academy in the Undercity. And I'm so happy that you're looking for me. You're all quite gifted with the fun meditations I put people through. How can I assist you? One moment." And he uses prestidigitation just to like clean himself up a little bit, and then puts on a sort of torque around his neck, but nothing else really. Like he is. This just seems to be what he wears.
Mm.
Do you have any spell scrolls here?
Many spell scrolls, but it depends on what exactly you are looking for, because what we like to do is to try and let some of our students inscribe those spell scrolls, which you can get for cheaper, but there might be some unintended side effects, as they are made by students.
The higher
If-
level spells?
If you're looking for regular old non-student made spells, yes, we have those too.
Ooh, Lady Salome, do you have the book?
Yeah, I mean, I do. It's heavy as fuck. She sort of like pulls it out, puts it on, puts it
I
down.
help her out.
Maybe they have maps here.
Can we do that? I wonder if if Lady Salome needed help, if she let one of us help her.
Yeah, would she let us?
Lots of questions at the moment. Let's go by this one by one. You have a giant book. You are all in my office. You're all quite lovely, by the way. And you are asking me about spell scrolls. Is there anything in particular you have your mind set on?
The highest level spells.
Oh my goodness. Well, those. Hold on one moment. He goes to his desk and he touches a small purple crystal. And you can see that a purplish pane of arcane energy appears up there. And he begins sort of touching it and scrolling down a list. Highest level. What do we have that is... And again, I have to ask this because if you're looking for student-made, we have plenty. If you're looking for, the stuff that won't perhaps also explode in your face, we have select numbers.
I will see what your students can do. It might be entertaining.
Very good. All right. Give me a moment. Da-da-da-da-da. Right. It looks as if at this point in time, give to me the levels, please. Levels. All right. As far as our graduate students go, they are usually the ones that are able to produce the spell scrolls with the highest degree of success. We have one available. It is the spell known as Invulnerability. It is quite difficult to cast regularly, and should you have the ability to copy this yourself, it will be expensive to copy it yourself, and again, it might not function exactly as you want it to, but if you do not use the scroll itself, there is a component cost which can be prohibitive. You would need a piece of adamantine in the range of 500 gold pieces. There is that one. That, if we were to sell, well, we don't actually have that one in stock in the higher levels, but student-made, we can get you that for 1,000 gold pieces. If you were to
Point
purchase...
me in the direction of your scrolls, please. I wish to look over them.
Would you... All right. Excellent. You wish to look over all of them yourself, or would you like the list first of what you might be interested in?
I will see myself.
Very good. So he actually just sort of turns the crystal around and shows you the list.
I'll
What?
speak with you all later.
All right. So tell me what you might be interested in, and I'll tell you if they have it or not.
I have no idea. This is what Mars is going to be doing for the immediate and foreseeable future.
Very good, very good. So I will say, yes, the difference between the student-made ones and the like actual scrolls is that the high level spells would have like, because they're made by graduate students, so they would have like a 40% chance of not functioning as intended. The lower level spells, there they would have like a 50-50 chance of not functioning as intended. If they were made by teachers, then you know you're getting a real spell, and it would work exactly as intended. But yes, so think about some things which you might be interested in, and I can tell you whether they have it or not. But Amaris is scrolling through this list and trying to decide what he might want. And the rest of you, right, he's looking through the scrolls, a giant book. What is this book?
Is the Chronicles of, what's his name again?
Justin Lacal.
Justin Nicole. It is a famous as a brilliant bard of the old days, and a first edition, I might add.
These are quite rare, yes. I think we might have one in the library here somewhere as well. What in particular are you flipping to the page of the map thing?
As he's like, particular, what are you looking for? And he's like, and he points at the map. Apparently, he's like, do you know where I was like, do you know if there's anything around this area? And he he circle with his palm. Circle with like the tip of his finger around the area where we think that there's there's a hideout. Or if there's any like civilizations or anywhere near there, like towns, cities.
Let me
ruins.
see. His map is not particularly well made, but I remember his discussions about where this might be in regards to, you know, just the specific location being to the south, being quite cold. He opens up a little pouch that is attached to his his pants there, and he pulls out a small little pearl and sort of puts it to his head, and he recites an incantation, and the pearl flashes and disappears, and sort of this halo of sort of very geometric patterns appears above his head for a second there. It's like, right, let me see if I can remember what the things were. Okay. Ah, yes. Well, this is an archaeological area of interest. To the south, it is quite cold there, mountainous. It snows a lot. There are very deep old caverns and such. The area is quite large. It is probably one of the largest mountain ranges that are on Thala. So it is a wide place. You can see these scribbles that he's drawn here kind of represent mountains, but he's not giving an accurate description of the height and the depth of these valleys at all, and the curvature here is completely wrong. Basically, if you had to head south by airship for about 2 months, you would reach this location. These mountains are called the feet of gosh, I can't remember his freaking the feet of Oban. It is named as such because these mountains were said to have been created long ago by the god himself, and do not change, whereas some mountain ranges you might know grow or shrink over time. These have the very stability of Oban himself instilled within them, so they do not change. Oban being the god of law. But yes, there are settlements around. There are a lot of this area is unexplored just due to the cold temperatures and the harsh climates. It is not a place where people like to live. But it is said that a long time ago, the weather was quite different there. Nobody really knows why it changed, but there used to be quite a flourishing society down there. And, well, the temperature changed quite drastically.
Can I roll Arcana or let's say Arcana or a history to if I can remember something of legend?
Yeah. Same idea. Is there a
Sure.
what would you like me to roll to see if I know anything more about what he's talking about?
Specifically, I'm thinking of a magic item.
Okay. So, yeah, history or Arcana, your choice.
You seem to know.
You
a
might
lot
be muted.
about-
Oh, yay! History. That's another 26.
Mm.
Can I help with this?
Yeah, if you want to take some of your time away from studying the inventory list, then yeah, you can help.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Enhance Ability on myself first, though.
Okay.
You know a lot about the region. Does this symbol mean anything to you?
That's just a
I show him the
a
symbol.
dirty 20.
A dirty 20. Okay. So he's looking at the symbol, he's looking at the maps and such. I remember seeing this in the book, yes. I was quite infatuated with this young man. They're very interesting stories and a lot of fun. But as you get into academia and you learn more about research and development and actual, how maps should work, I think it lost a lot of its luster to me. But I have not come across this personally in my years. So with your dirty 20 and your 26, what did you roll?
It doesn't matter. I get high enough. It didn't go past 10.
Okay. So the dirty 20 and the 26. Information about the region, perhaps, or information about legends or any of this type of stuff. Both of you, through different means, would have come across some of the stories about the place itself, about this mountain range called the Feet of Oban. And it is, there are different archaeological sites and digs that come up there. Some people say that it might have been one of the oldest settled places on Moranzen. Although that's always in dispute because, the deeper down you go, the older things get. But there are stories of that. And yeah, there is, at a time where people are really unsure of, because this is long before Moranzen was even founded, the geological evidence that they've managed to, through researchers and stuff that have gone to the area, the geological evidence has suggested that there was a drastic and abrupt climate change in the area, that the area was actually very, very tropical and more akin to jungles and such, and very verdant with life, and just very quickly it changed within the course of, at least by soil samples and all that type of stuff, within the course of like 3 years, 3 to 6 years max, it changed with no seeming sign or anything about that. Yeah, that's pretty much what you get. The most notable information is that people, a lot of scholars think that these places might have been some of the oldest places in Moranson, on Thala.
Wow. I also have another question.
Yes.
Have you ever been to, what was the town again, guys? It's just an E, right?
Ilin.
Ilin. Have you been to Ilin?
No, I have not. To be honest, fish doesn't really agree with me. I tend to eat more of what you can find down here in the Undercity. I mean, you know, my mother is a fantastic cook, and you can criticize all you like, but there's nothing quite like the food that you're used to where you're from. I've
Okay.
traveled, but you know, I've had no reason to go to a fishing village.
Have you, what would you say would be the closest place you have to, you've been to there out that way?
You know, there's not too much on the way between here and there beside old ruins and things, but that's pretty normal for our world. Nothing really. I've had no need to travel that way. I've been to the southeast, to Yilantinango. I have been, you know, once or twice to more to the west. But my home is here. My studies are here.
Do you know anything about, witchy hags and how to make them, die?
There are several varieties. They are most potent when they are unified. If there are 3 together or more, their natural abilities for spellcasting enhance quite a bit and they can become quite deadly. Some are helpful, but almost all of them have some kind of deviousness about them or devious agenda. The method in which they reproduce is. Are any of you squeamish at all?
I am not, so I can't speak for everyone, but at the very least, you can tell me.
Well, at least those that find themselves on the more, shall we say, unkind area of the hag spectrum, when they wish to reproduce, they often find and kidnap young girls and devour them whole. And what is expelled afterwards is the child altered. Sometimes, especially if one is not in a coven themselves, they will actually find homes where parents have an infant, swallow up the young baby in the crib and regurgitate the child and clean it up and leave it with the parents. When the girl comes of age, she transforms.
When would a girl come of age?
Oh, it is different culture to culture. Obviously, for elves, we would be, you know, in our 60s, I imagine. But it depends. Asmar and such, probably 12, 13.
This is a gnome village, right, Xaxi? And I guess I try to say it in her head. You hear in your head, how old are gnomes when they come of age?
DM, I'm just gonna ballpark here and say about the same age as elves, maybe a little
Sure.
earlier, 25, 30.
Sure. Chalk, you would know that it's not just
I would
a
know.
gnomish village.
It's not just gnomes.
Yeah.
As I your eye, have you picked any scrolls? Because I think I'm just about to buy something. So I put my I put my arm around the like the buddy thing when you put your arm around him. I'm like, so
Oh, very
and-
forward. I like it.
okay, I headmaster, how good of a shot are you in portals?
I don't know if I'm picking up on the right subtext here. Are we still talking about magic, or are we?
Yes,
Oh,
I need you. I am gonna pay you to
I
teleport us.
was disappointed there for a moment.
Woo!
Yes, portals. I am as capable as the next. Yes.
Well, I need you to send me and my colleagues here to the that village, because there's been a vast and terrifying amount of missing girl children, and I
And
thought,
there
and we
Hence
Legend.
your questions about hags.
Yes, there are legends about witches in the woods.
Hmm.
The person who brought this plight to our attention specifically mentioned hags. Um, it
Mm.
appears that this is a unusual phenomenon that doesn't take place very often. He was a gnome and couldn't remember anything happening in his lifetime, and he was quite elderly. But do you know any specific weaknesses of hags? Are they susceptible to fire or ice or
He
I know they have.
already
can they be
used
convinced of
his
the good
fortune favor, so he does not have advantage on this or luck on this anymore.
Indigestion.
Take their
Not
Pepto-Bismol.
particularly my department, although you could check the library if you like.
I know they have a resistance to magical charms and fear as being blood of the Fae.
This is quite likely.
Do I know how to deal with hags? Does the astral seals? Do we? I don't know. Do we kill hags?
Is there a star hag out there?
you could
Cosmic hag?
make an Arcana check.
Do you have a teacher here who, or someone who studies that? It's a university.
I'm mad at
Yes,
Moody.
yes,
Do you have a
we have many of the guilds send their people here to study and train. We have a medical part of the university as well. I guess the library is quite wonderful. But yes, we could put you in touch with one of our lecturers if you'd like.
that would be very useful. It seems like well, it seems like if something's been going on long enough to be a legend, then others might have tried to take it down before and failed, and I feel like we should be prepared.
This village has also been the site of pretty great evil, historically. Or maybe not.
No, I'm trying to remember if I say the fishy. Something just about fish just always puts me off. I don't know why. I think I remember something about that. Yes, but I can get some information for you. I will introduce you to one of our lecturers that deals with more of shall we say magical beings as such, the study of them. What was your check there, Mars, on Arcana?
Assuming we haven't been talking for more than an hour. 17.
17. All right, 17. So you do know a fair bit about hags. So give me one moment here. What Du had said is quite correct. Oftentimes being of a more fey nature, they would have probably resistance to charm and to sleep. That would definitely be a thing. You'd be fairly certain that if what you're throwing at them was not magic, it probably wouldn't hurt them. So you would definitely be more likely to hit them with something magic than not magic. Otherwise, they might be resistant or immune to it, depending on the hag as well, because they're different kinds. And again, it depends on the kind of hag that might be there. You know that a lot of them have various resistances. That's the thing. So you know that your best bet is going to be anything magical. Or if you do not have something magical, at least hopefully something silver. That would be helpful. Some of them are, resistant to certain kinds of magic damage. Some of them are, resistant to only certain kinds of magical damage. It depends on the hag. If you could find out what kind of hag it is, then you would have more of an accurate understanding when you see them.
I believe we will be able to take care of this.
Headmaster, I'm not sure how your library works, but could we perhaps check out a book if you happen to have one on hags and their various taxonomy for us to study and take with us to this village so that way we may be better prepared?
For that, you would need to be an enrolled student here. But
How do I enroll as a student?
I am very interested in coming to your school.
Well,
Do you
As
teach
a
the
member
water
of
class
Guild
every day?
Fellows, it feels like a very
As
logical step in my
often as possible. Well, all right. Looks like I'm getting some new students for my next semester. We can talk about that. Yes. Of course, we can scribe the things for you as well if you'd like. Any pages that you might like, we can have them scribed. But yes, we can talk about you enrolling as a student as well, if you would like. And with that thought of potential going back to university, changing up the campaign to an anime, a university anime. We will end our session, our game here for today. A lot of fun. Thank you all for joining us, those of you who have stuck with us. And looking forward to next week. Have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.